Hello. This time I'm gonna use this tier list to rank the bosses from best to worst in double spoiler. I'm gonna be ranking them for score because I only play for score. I did shoot the bullet a while back, earlier today, and I have a lot of experience with both games, but Double Spoiler is the game that I played the past few years, and Double Spoiler is the game I played the most, so my experience in Double Spoiler should be really good. Now, there's a lot of scenes in Double Spoiler. There's 108 scenes. 99 of them are playable with Hatate, 108 counts for Aya. And yeah, there's gonna be a lot to consider because each scene you can play it with both Aya and Hatate, and sometimes, you know, I love the scene with one of the characters but not with the other character. So definitely gonna be a lot to consider here. Now, each boss will have, most bosses will have 4 spells, some of them will have, well, one of them will have 5, some of them will have less than 4, like 3. Some of them have 3. So, I also, sometimes I may take something other than scoring into account, but it's gonna be rare. For the most part, it's just gonna be about scoring. So, with that in mind, let's begin here. First we have Stage 1, obviously. We start with Stage 1. We have Minariko and Shizuha. Now, Minariko has 4 scenes. Oh yeah, Shizuha only has 2 scenes. I keep forgetting that. I keep thinking Shizuha has 3, but she actually only has 2. Kind of strange, isn't it? So let's start with Minariko. Minariko has 4 scenes. 1-1, 1-2, 1-4, and 1-6. Now, these scenes aren't that great. 1-6 I don't enjoy at all. But 1-4 is pretty fun. Let me turn this music down very slightly so that it doesn't overpower my voice. It's important that my voice can be heard. Alright, so yeah, 1-4 is pretty good. 1-4 is pretty fun when you get into it. I don't like 1-2 very much. And 1-1 isn't the most enjoyable scene, but it is still kind of cool if you want to optimize it. So, Minariko, I'm gonna put her down in decent, because if 1-6 was a good scene, she might be a good boss, but with 1-6 really brings her down. She definitely can't be above decent. Oh, there we go. I can't get rid of this B for some reason. It's just forced to be there. Shizuha. With Shizuha, we have 1-3 and 1-5. 1-3 is unenjoyable. It is extremely luck-based in an unenjoyable way. But 1-5 is a little better, but still not great. So, decent. Alright. Let's move on to level 2. On level 2 we have Parsi and Hina. Level 2 is not a great level. Kind of like level 1. It's not great. Let's start with Parsi. Parsi has 2-1. 2-1 is completely different with Aya and Hatate. It's a lot more fun with Aya. 2-3. Luck-based scene, but I kind of enjoy it. 2-5. Very cool scene. So, with that in mind, we have 2-1, which is either very cool or kind of mediocre, depending on the character. 2-3, which I like, and 2-5, which I think is very, very good. So, I'd say Parsi, I think I am actually going to give her a very good rank, because if I just pick the character I enjoy most, I enjoy all the scenes a lot, and I especially enjoy 2-1 and 2-5. So I think she deserves a very good, but 2-1 with Hatate kind of brings her down, because 2-1 is just so much better with Aya. So, but she's still very good. And Hina is not a great boss. Hina is one of the weaker ones. We have 2-2. 2-2 is luck shit, not good at all. 2-4, boring. 2-6. 2-6 is pretty good, but it's not great. So, let's see. There she is, Hina. Hina is gonna be down here in decent. 2-6 makes her a little better, but 2-2 and 2-4 are just not good. So especially not 2-2. 2-2 is just luck based enough in a very unfun way. It's not really about skill at all. Now level 3. Level 3 is also not a great scene. This is sadly the case with both Shoot the Bullet and Double Spoiler. The earlier levels are just... They leave something to be desired. Like, there are some good scenes in there, but there are also a lot of mediocre scenes. So on level 3 we actually have 3 characters. Kogasa, Kisame, Yamame. So let's start with Yamame. Yamame has 3-1, 3-4, and there is 3-7. So if we start with 3-1, 3-1 kind of looks like her SA non-spell. But when you're playing it for score, you have to like move inside the pattern and guide it in a specific way and hope for the right movement RNG and do kind of a little trick with the photo. It's pretty technical, but I don't enjoy this scene. I never enjoyed the RNG aspect of this scene. And 3-4 is actually a pretty cool scene. You have to be very patient with this scene because you're not gonna get a lot of opportunities to actually take the photo. You're gonna have to like retry over and over and over with the defensive shot and then getting back into position to retry until you get the right RNG to take the photo. But other than that, it's a pretty technical scene and I kind of enjoy it. 3-7 is one of the simplest scenes in the game. Not much to say. It's a decent scene. So overall, Yamame. There she is. Yamame gets decent. Not a very remarkable boss. 3-4 is the one I enjoy. The other ones, nothing special. Kogasa. So with Kogasa we have 3-2, 3-5, and 3-8. Kogasa is also not a remarkable boss. 3-2 is a pretty good scene though. If you really want to push it to the limit, you have to take it from behind. 3-5 is luck shit. It's not luck shit in a very fun way either, so I don't like 3-5. 3-8 is luck shit in a very skill-based way. So I appreciate 3-8. I actually played 3-8 a lot. It's one of the scenes I have one of my best scores in. But I can't say it's a great scene. The luck factor is just so severe, but it does take a lot of skill too. So let's see, there she is, Kogasa. I'm gonna give her a good. 3-2 and 3-8 are both good, but it's a low good. She's borderline decent. Alright, so Kisame only has 2 scenes. Kisame has 3-3. 3-3 is a great scene, I think. The luck factor in it can be kind of annoying, but I personally really enjoy the scene. I think I appreciate the uniqueness of it. And 3-6. 3-6 is also a very luck-based scene. It's one of the most luck-based scenes in the game, actually. But it's just really fun to play, so... Unfortunately, she only has 2 scenes, so... I'm not sure I can really give her a very good, but she's definitely better than Kogasa. If Kogasa is on the low end of good, Kisame is on the high end of good. Level 4. Level 4, we have Nitori and Momiji. Momiji only has 3 scenes though. Alright, so Nitori, we have 4-1, 4-3, 4-5, and 4-7. Now, one of these scenes is not like the others. Nitori is a pretty interesting boss because 4-1, 4-3, and 4-5 are all really easy to play for score, at least easy as far as double spoiler is concerned. Some of the easiest scenes, 4-1 is a little harder, but really it might look hard at first, but once you learn it, it's not hard. But 4-7 is pure insanity. It is one of the most insane scenes in the game. And Momiji is kind of similar. Well, I'll get to that later. So I really like 4-7. I really like the insanity of it. It's not always fun, but because it is so insanely hard, you're always engaged when you play it. I don't really like 4-5 very much because there's like nothing to it, it's just a luck grind. 4-3, it's pretty much also just a luck grind, very little to it, very little to say. And 4-1 is really fun, so it's kind of hard to average these scenes out, because like 4-3 and 4-5 are not bad, they're just unremarkable. But 4-1 is really, really fun, and 4-7 is really, really good. So I'm gonna give her a very good, but she's like borderline. She'd be a clear very good if either 4-3 or 4-5 was had a bit more to chew on. They're just so simple, you know. But as it is, I'm still gonna give her a very good. And Momiji has 4-2, which is an insane scene, absolute insane. 4-4, it's a pretty tedious luck grind, not much skill involved in this one. And 4-6 is a pretty good scene as well. I quite like 4-6. 4-2 and 4-6 are both pretty enjoyable, but 4-2 is just not that fun for me because most of it you're gonna spend waiting, and only occasionally will it require you to take the picture, and it is when it requires you to take the picture that you have to do an insane stunt. And that is all. The only thing that's good about 4-2 is this insane stunt you have to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and give Momiji a good. She doesn't deserve a very good. 4-6 borders on very good. 4-2. 4-2 is good. 4-4 is kind of decent. So it averages out to a good. Level 5 is a really good level. But it's mostly because of Murasa. So let's start with Ichirin. Ichirin has 5-1. You go into a safe spot inside of the lasers and under Ichirin. Kind of hope that she doesn't move in a bad way. Very simple scene. 5-3. 5-3 is all about fist photo hitbox shenanigans. It's pretty fun when you get into it. 5-5. 5-5 is a really fun scene, but it's extremely hard and luck based. And 5-7. 5-7 is a precision scene, which is all based on luck in the end. No real depth to it, it's just precision and luck. All in all, 5-5 really brings her up. 5-7 I enjoy. 5-3 I enjoy. 5-1 I kind of enjoy 5-1 as well, but I used to really hate it, but I kind of enjoy it. So does she deserve a very good because of 5-5 alone? No. No, I think she's still gonna be she's still gonna be on a good, merely good. Murasa, on the other hand, she has a set of really solid scenes. She has 5-2, which is a very fun scoring scene. Very, very cool. 5-4 is one of my personal favorites in the game. I'd say it's top tier, like it's top 5. At least top 10, but probably top... It's a top 5 scene in the game, maybe even top 3. It is one of the best. 5-6, great scene, very enjoyable. And 5-8, 5-8 is the one that brings her down. Sadly, 5-8 is nothing special. 5-8 with Aya, you can get a max score very easily, and 5-8 with Hatate, it is all about pixel precision and pixel precise photo aiming. Not really my cup of tea, but the other 3 scenes, especially 5-4, are just so great. 5-4 is legendary, so she definitely gets where is she? There she is. She definitely gets an extremely good rank. She's one of the best bosses in the game, and 5-4 is like the one, you know, that really brings her up there. 5-2 is another scene that's extremely good, but 5-4, man, 5-4 is all about 5-4. Level 6 is kind of a shitty scene. It has some better scenes in it, but most of them are kind of bad or nothing special. 6-1 Yugi, 6-2 Suika. Let's start with Yugi. 6-1, 6-3, 6-5, 6-7. All of these scenes except for 6-3 are shit. 6-1 is shit. The only thing about 6-1 that I like is that optimizing the photo is interesting. Everything else about it is obnoxious. You have these random bullets spawning all over the screen, and most of the time when you move up to Yugi, you're gonna die because a bullet spawns on you. Not fun. 6-3 is really good. It's all about like, it's a purely optimization scene. There's no RNG in it. It's fun optimization. 6-5, it's a little better with Aya. Not that good with Hatate. It's not that good with either character. I called it shit before. That it's not shit. It's not even bad. It's just mediocre. It's just mediocre. Kind of an RNG scene with Aya, and on a high level, very high level RNG scene with Hatate as well. 6-7 is total crap. It's the worst scene in the game. It's the worst scene in any photo game. Probably. It's at least it's close. There are some in Shoot the Bullet that might have a word with it maybe here, but it's just really bad. So but 6-3, I really like 6-3. So 6-3 does bring her up to decent. Yeah, 6-3 brings her up to decent. If it wasn't for 6-3, I would put her in the bad category, because both 6-1 and 6-7 are terrible. Suika is another boss that's far from great. 6-2 is not very enjoyable. 6-4 is extremely hard, which I normally would like, but this one I feel a little bit more mixed about, because it's a very engaging scene because it's so hard, but I think it's too hard. 6-6. Now 6-6 is very different depending on the character you use. I think Aya is by far the harder character, and I think it's a bit better with Aya. 6-8 is a very good scene. 6-8 and 6-3 and 6-4 are the scenes on this level that are really good. So if we average it out, I'd say Suika 6-4 and 6-8 almost bring her up to a very good, but we also have 6-2, and 6-6 is just kind of average, so I'm gonna give her a good. She gets to be kind of next to Ichirin. Ichirin is kind of similar. It's really 5-5 that brings Ichirin up. Alright, so level 7, Sho and Nashrin. So Sho has 7-1, 7-3, 7-5, and 7-7. 7-7 and 7-1 are the ones with the curvy lasers. 7-3 and 7-5 doesn't really have those curvy lasers. So 7-1 is a really good scene, multiple phases, lots of optimization, lots of RNG. 7-3, way too RNG based for my taste. If Sho consistently moved where you misdirected her, this scene would actually be really good. But because Sho doesn't consistently move where you move, because there's a slight randomness to how she aims, that really makes this scene obnoxious. 7-5, I don't enjoy it at all. I never liked this scene. It might seem like a good puzzle scene on the surface, but for score, it's obnoxious, not good at all. 7-7, not really to my taste. There's a really risk bonus shenanigan to this scene, but it's all about little save spots, this one. And I'm not a big fan of save spots, so Sho gets to be on a decent. She's almost good. 7-1. There's a case to be made for 7-1, because 7-1 is a very good scene, but none of the others really impress me. Nastrin has only 3 scenes, and one of those scenes is one of my favorites in the game. It's 7-6. You stack these pendulums, and it might be the deepest scene in the game. It might be the deepest scene in Touhou. So that's really good. But 7-4 is just RNG bullshit. It takes no skill at all. It's just RNG grind. And 7-2 is all about patience and RNG. You have to wait for Nastrin to go to the top of the screen and stay there the whole time. And if you can pull that off, there's also some RNG involved with the bullets, which may or may not kill you. So I don't think 7-2 is a good scene, but it's not terrible. But 7-4 is bad. and 7-6 is amazing. So because 7-6 is so fucking amazing, I have to give her a good rank. It's 7-6 is just that good. Like the other two scenes, fuck them. Well, 7-2 isn't that bad, but fuck 7-4, seriously, fuck it. Level 8. Orin and Utsuho. Now this is where the game starts to get really good, man. Previously we have the only extremely good boss we have so far is Murasa on stage 5, but the game, double spoiler, really starts to get better from stage 8 onward. So let's start with Orin. Orin has 8-1, 8-3, 8-5, 8-7. So 8-1 and 8-7 are the scenes where she's in her cat form and she's like catting around, kind of like what she's doing on Cat's Random Walk in SA, kind of moving around. And 8-7, man, 8-7 is just such a fucking good scene. I love this scene. It's RNG based, but it's so good if you're patient enough to deal with the RNG. 8-1, a bit more of a waiting based scene, very waiting based scene, but if you're fine with that, it's a lot of fun. 8-3 is one of the best puzzle scenes in any photo game. There's a lot to be said about this scene. It's just an amazing scene. And 8-5 is probably Orin's worst scene. 8-5 is pure patience. You have to wait and wait and wait and wait, and it's extremely RNG based. So I actually kind of enjoy this scene sometimes, but I wouldn't call it a good scene. So however, the other scenes are just so great, especially 8-3 and 8-7, that I'm gonna put Orin in the extremely good rank. 8-5 sadly brings her down a bit, but the other scenes are just so great that she gets to be in this prestigious rank. So next we have Utsuho. Utsuho has 8-2, 8-4, 8-6, 8-8. So Utsuho is a little bit mixed, because Utsuho has two scenes that I absolutely love, and those both involved huge suns. So it's 8-2. It's kind of a safe spot, tiny little safe spot, very precision based scene. I have to put stickers on my screen so I can see which pixel I'm on, because you have to be in a different spot for each photo, and you have to be in exactly that spot or you can't take an optimized photo. And 8-4 is crap. Now, I don't want to be too hasty. It's crap. If you hate RNG, this is the crappiest of crap, because you're forced to die every fucking time. You'll almost never be able to clear this scene, because you're always forced to die. And I just don't like that. I'm much more fine with RNG, where, you know, you have to work towards a lucky run, or RNG where, you know, the RNG affects how lucky your photos are. But the RNG where you're forced to die all the time I have less patience with that. 8-6 is one of the most fun scenes in the game. It's a pretty simple scene, but it is extremely fun, and with optimized strategy, extremely hard. 8-8 is not that simple, but it's for kind of a late scene like this, it's pretty simple and it's pretty easy, but it's pretty fun still. So all in all, Utsuho gets extremely good, because 8-2 and 8-6 are some of the best in the game. 8-8 is also fun. It's too bad about 8-4, but what can you do? Alright, so onward to level 9. Satori Koishi. Level 9 is one of the best levels in the game. So Satori has 9-1, 9-3, 9-5 and 9-7. All of these except for 9-5 are top tier 9-1 is my favorite. 9-3 and 9-7, especially 9-7, are also amazing. 9-7 isn't as good as the first scene of this kind in Shoot the Bullet, but it's still a great scene. 9-5 is just kind of annoying, not kind of a hitbox shenanigan scene. And 9-3 requires a lot of patience. But 9-1 is truly one of the best in the game. One of my personal favorites. It's one of the hardest scenes to get an optimized run in. By far, it's one of the absolute hardest scenes. And it's very long, very deep, and just a pure joy. I really appreciate it. So Satori is definitely one of the best. Koishi, also one of the best. She has 9-2, which is one of my favorite puzzle scenes, one of my favorite optimization scenes. 9-4, which is another more it's another puzzle scene, which is one of the deepest puzzle scenes there is. And 9-6, which 9-6 requires a fuckload of patience, but the third phase and its 4 sub phases is it's still really cool if you have that patience. And like, I just can't get over how beautiful this scene is. Like, from an aesthetic point of view, the beauty, it's one of the most beautiful things in all of Touhou. So that brings it up for me, even if it requires a lot of patience. And 9-8 is also really good. 9-8 is probably my least favorite of Koishi's scenes, but it's still a good scene. So absolutely, Koishi is absolutely in the extremely good rank. That's not even like, there's no way she would be down in very good. Everything she has is great, and she has 2 or 3 that are like brilliant. Level 10. I'm just gonna drink a little more. My throat is kind of parched, I think, talking so much, because I just recorded that Shoot the Bullet video. Is taking its toll on my throat. But I'm 2/3 through here already, so I'm gonna see it through to the end. So level 10, we have Tenshi, Iku. Tenshi, we have 10-1, 10-3, 10-5, 10-7. So 1 by 1. 10-1 is fantastic. It's a little bit frustrating because the RNG can kill you. It's a little bit frustrating because Tenshi can fuck around with your movements, and the bullets, even the bullets that don't force you to die, the bullets can force you to be unable to take the picture, so that you have to keep stalling. It's very hard, it requires a lot of patience. 10-3, this scene is an RNG nightmare, but I really enjoy it. You have to be super patient with this scene as well, but I still enjoy it. I have a soft spot for this scene. 10-5 is a really fun scene. It's fast paced, and once again, the boss movement on this scene can be kind of annoying, but it's not as bad as 10-3 and 10-1 in that area. And 10-7 is also bullshit with the RNG. Now, all Tenshi scenes are like this. You just have to accept it. With 10-7, it has to do with the randomness of slow bullets that appear out of the laser when you take the picture. Those slow bullets can wall you in and kill you. You're forced to die a lot in this scene, especially if you're playing Hatate. But if you remove, like, if you just accept all of these horrible flaws that could put off a lot of people, and I play these scenes a lot, so I've accepted them. I spent a lot of time on Tenshi. If you play these scenes on their own terms, they are all very fun to play. These scenes are all very fun and very engaging to play. But they are all bullshit as well. So still, Tenshi, just because I'm fine with the bullshit, honestly, she gets to be in the extremely good rank. She doesn't have a single bad scene. She doesn't even have a single scene that I would say is less than very good. I really enjoy all of her scenes to varying degrees. Like, I'm not sure which one I even like best. It's probably 10-1, maybe 10-5. 10-3 is a little worse, maybe. And then we have Iku. Iku is... I'm just gonna do this right now before I even start talking. Iku is in the best of the best rank. She's the best boss in Double Spoiler. So 10-2. 10-2 is an amazing scene. 10-4. 10-4 is a scene that will frustrate you a lot. It will require a lot of patience from you, but it is very rewarding. It's very rewarding. And 10-4 I actually haven't played that much yet, but I imagine it would be very rewarding once I start to play it more. The optimization in it is through the roof. 10-6, this is my favorite scene in Double Spoiler. Now, I've made a video about this scene if you want to watch it, if you kind of want to hear how you approach playing this scene for score. It's a pretty long video. I understand if people don't want to watch the whole thing, but like if you want to hear my thoughts on not so much my thoughts on the scene subjectively, but like more objectively how you should play it. Subjectively, I would just say this is the most fun scene there is in the game. This is the most fun there is. And after all, fun is what matters, right? It's the most engaging and fun scene in Double Spoiler. 10-8. 10-8 is a very fun scene. I could talk a bit about it, but honestly, there's not that much to say about it. There's certain RNG combinations you want to look for when you take the photo, and you need some quick reaction skills for that. Level 11. So level 11 is another good scene, but it's not as good as 10 and 9. Level 11 is the kind of scene, level 11 is the kind of level where none of the scenes are really super hard or anything. It's more like a matter of deep intimacy with the game rather than crazy difficulty. It's more like, these are more like puzzle-ish scenes. Except, I can't even call most of them puzzles per se. It's kind of, but they're more on the puzzle side of the spectrum, I guess. So, Kanako and Suwako. Kanako is 11-1, 11-3, 11-5, 11-7. 11-7 is annoying because the RNG, you have to wait for the right RNG and it takes forever to get. Now, there are many different kinds of RNG combinations here. Infinite amounts of RNG combinations. And you kind of have to use the timer to take the best you can get and adjust your IS position depending on what kind of RNG you're getting. It's actually a lot harder than it might seem on the surface. 11.5 is kind of like Quish's 9.2. It's an optimization photo with little to no RNG. 9.2 has a little RNG, 11.5 has no RNG. And you just take the same photo over and over the same way, and it's a very deep photo. So great scene. 11.3 is another great scene, but it's pretty simple. 11.1, good scene, quite simple, not very complicated. I'm gonna go ahead and put Kanako in the very good camp. 11.5 is one of the best scenes. Well, not top 10, but it's like, it's a great scene at least. And as for the others are just good except for 11.7, which is a mixed bag. 11.1 and 11.3 are like almost great. Suwako, 11.2. Not a huge fan of 11.2. 11.4. I'm not a huge fan of 11.4 either. It's fast-paced when you get the right movement RNG, fast-paced and fun, but when you get the wrong movement RNG, it gets tedious. 11.6 is kind of tedious. 11.8 is an amazing scene. So one amazing scene is just not really enough to bring her up to a very good rank, in my opinion. She gets to be on the good. 11.8, like if she just had more scenes like 11.8, she would be in the extremely good tier, but sadly, that's just not the case. Level 12. Byakuren and Inoue, this is one of the best levels in the game. So Byakuren, she has 12.1, good scene. 12.3, great scene, but 12.3 has like no depth to it at all. It's just pure, like, a fun RNG grind, I would say. And I just really subjectively love the idea of the scene. It's far from it's one of the most simple scenes in the game, and one that you will probably get tired of rather easily because it just turns into an RNG grind. But I just subjectively find this scene extremely cool to look at. 12.5. Micro scene, not a huge fan of this one, but 12-7. 12-7 is one of the best in the game. Look, the music's playing Byakuran's theme. This is very fitting. 12-7 is just absolute top tier. There's not much that can compare to 12-7. So 12-7 and 12-3 are just so damn great that I have to put her in the extremely good rank. Put her here. 12-5 does bring her down a bit, but 12-5 isn't bad. It's just not entirely to my taste. And 12-1 is pretty good. It's just 12-3 and 12-7 especially 12-7. Like, they just steal the show here. Nue. 12-2. Good scene, but nothing very special. 12-4. Second favorite scene in the game for me, or third favorite scene behind Murasa's 5-4, probably. If you played with Hatate. If you played with Aya, it's not as fun. But if you played with Hatate, it's a mind-blowing scene. If you played with Aya, it's a great scene, but it's not mind-blowing. 12-6, this scene is great. It's very RNG based, very RNG based, but it's still great. And the only thing about this scene that I really don't like is there's a glitch which kills you, and that really sucks. But the glitch can kill you and like remove bullets so that you spawn less bullets. It really sucks. If that wasn't a thing, I would love this scene. And 12-8, the PlayStation scene. 12-8 is a very long scene, so it can get a little tedious, and you can't slip up even for a moment. The microing you have to do, and like taking the photo. The photo is kind of technical, and you have to like wait for the right RNG and kind of identify that RNG, because this is one of those scenes where identifying the right RNG is really hard. But I like this scene. This scene grew on me. I think it's a great scene, but it's like 12-4 is the reason I'm gonna put Nue in the extremely good rank. 12-4 is just so fucking amazing. It just blows my mind. None of the other ones are really on that level, but all the other scenes are still good, or even great. 12-8 is great, 12-6 is great, but 12-2 is merely good. Next, EX. This level, unfortunately, double spoiler gets a lot worse in this level. I don't know what happened. Like, from level 8 to level 12, double spoiler is pretty consistently amazing. There are a few scenes here and there in these levels that aren't amazing, but most of them are honestly amazing. But EX has so many bad scenes and so many mediocre scenes. I don't know what happened here. I don't know what Sun was thinking. So let's start with Reimu. Reimu has EX1, EX4, EX7. I don't like any of these scenes. EX1 especially is kind of offensively bad. EX1 is a very badly designed scene when you're scoring. It might be kind of funny when you're playing casually though. EX4 is a micro optimization scene, which I haven't played it very much. It's one of the scenes in the game that I played very little, but I don't like these kinds of scenes typically that much. I'm definitely gonna try getting into it in the future though, but I don't like it very much. EX7. You have a 1 in 4 chance every like 8 seconds that Reimu will use a movement pattern where you can even continue and play the game. So once every half minute or so you can take a photo. Every other time you have to wait. The photo itself is really cool. It's a pretty deep photo. Well, it's not that deep, but it's deep enough. But like the waiting, no, the waiting just turns it into a mediocre scene. If it didn't have so much waiting, man, it would be good. So Reimu gets to be in the decent group. EX1 is kind of shit, but the other two aren't bad. Marisa. Marisa is a little better. Marisa has EX2. EX2 requires a lot of patience because it takes so long, but it's pretty fun. I kind of like it. EX5 is a good scene. It might even be a great scene. You might hate playing it casually, but it's a pretty good scene for score. And EX8 is frustrating, but I don't hate it. So Marisa, she gets to be in the good rank. Marisa is good. It's EX8. I'm not sure I consider EX8 good, but I do consider the other two good. And EX5 might even be very good. And I'm just looking at my tier list here. This looks a little bit different compared to when I did it off outside, when I didn't record myself. It looks a little different because I have fewer in very good, so that must mean probably I would put Utsuho in very good last time and Suwako in very good, maybe even Ichiro in very good. Maybe I did that last time. Well, either way, this is what I have this time. Double Spoiler is such a strange game when it comes to its variety of quality. Anyway, Sanae. Sanae, we have EX9, which is kind of a bad version of 9.2 and 11.5. There's one photo, and you have to learn a ton of different things. You have to optimize to take this one photo as good as possible, and you take it 10 times. And the pattern gets more intense, but you don't really change how you take the photo. EX6 is a luck grind with almost no skill involved at all. It's probably one of the easiest scenes in the game. It might look hard on the surface, but there's no optimization in it. So all you have to do is dodge the bullets, and the photo is for free. EX3 is a micro scene, which can be a little enjoyable, but I don't really like it. I don't really like it, to be quite honest. It's not my taste. So Sanae, she gets to be indecent as well. Like this, I think. She's almost a good boss. Like EX6 is shallow, but it's kind of fun, and EX9 is repetitive, but it's kind of fun. And EX3, there are moments where I enjoy it, but like on the whole, none of these scenes really convince me. So decent. And lastly, Spoiler. Spoiler is by far my least played level. Spoiler 9 is really the only scene here that I played a lot, and it is by far the best scene here. None of the other ones I played that much. Most of them I played almost nothing at all, because I don't really like this scene that much. So we have Hatate, the first 4 levels are Hatate, and the next 5 are Aya. So we have Hatate Spoiler 1, it's just one photo. Hatate Spoiler 2, not much to it, it's kind of repetitive. Hatate Spoiler 3, kind of annoying. Hatate Spoiler 4 is good though, but one good scene alone isn't gonna bring her up, because none of the other ones are really good. So Hatate, she gets to be in the decent rank. Spoiler 4 almost brings her up, but like none of the other ones really convince me. And we have Aya. Spoiler 5 is only one photo. Spoiler 6, not a big fan. Spoiler 7, not a big fan. Spoiler 8, definitely not a big fan. But Spoiler 9 is really good. So once again, kind of like Hatate, there's like one scene that really brings her up, but none of the other scenes are anything to really write home about. So she gets to be in a decent rank as well. And there you have it. I could potentially put Suwako in the very good, but I'm gonna keep her here. I'm gonna keep this. Alright, so let's have a look. Nothing in the bad category. And very few in the very good category. There's far more in the extremely good. Kind of funny how that works. So, as you can see, it's mostly the late game bosses that really stand out in Double Spoiler. Murasa being the only boss before level 8 that I put in extremely good. whereas in Decent we have mostly EX, spoiler and early level bosses, as well as Yugi. And oh yeah, even Sho is here. Yeah, I think Sho deserves to be here. So, top 5, Iku, Murasa, Koishi, Satori, Byakuren. I think that makes sense. Nue and Orin, they are close. Honorable mentions, Tenshi. Tenshi is a borderline very good, because I love all of Tenshi's scenes, but none of them are like top 10 material. And Utsuho, 2 great scenes. Two amazing scenes, I should say, and 2 that are more like average or well, I would say 1 bad and 1 good, and 2 amazing. Bottom 5, Shizura, Hina, Yamame, Yugi, Minariko. It seems about right to me. So hopefully this gives you an idea of the best bosses in double spoiler, worst bosses in double spoiler. If you want to play double spoiler, this video might help you to find which scenes you want to focus on, which scenes are really good, which scenes might be suitable for your skill level. I mean, I try to mention, like, if a scene is extremely hard, sometimes I kind of rush through this, so a lot of scenes I didn't comment on the difficulty level, but like some scenes are really hard in this game. But there are also some scenes in this game that aren't very hard, and it's kind of up to you which ones you want to play. So, with that, I bid you farewell. I've ranked all the bosses in both photo games now. It was quite a journey. Hope you enjoyed, and if I make any more tier list videos, next is probably going to be a PoF PvP tier list, which I would try not to. That wouldn't really be my opinion so much. Of course, it would be based on my opinion, but I would try to be as objective as possible about it, rather than just judging how fun I think something is, like here. Like the PoF tier list is fairly set in stone. There are some disagreements. I had some epic disagreements with Sil the other day about some characters, but it's more or less. You're not gonna find huge differences in between different players' opinions there. So look forward to that if you're into PoF PvP, or you're even if you're not into it, if you're even interested in seeing such a list. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Double spoiler is my favorite game of all time, and you should all play it. So see ya.